All right, guys, Coppercutlass here. Happy New Year. It's New Year's Day today. Happy 2021. Let's hope it goes better than the last shit show we had. So I came out here today, cleaned up, as you guys can tell. I got my Red Bull, my oil pump pickup. I cleaned up. The hood is shut. I'm not going to use it as a workbench. Try not to anyway. Just, organize my bench. I got my tower lights up there because I lost one of the LEDs, burnt out, and that corner of lighting really helps. So either way, I went through all my Oldsmobile stuff as maybe tomorrow, if things work out, if the weather isn't too bad, I'll be picking up that 350 that I mentioned to you guys, and then I'll share the details of what I'm going to do and what the game plan is going to be. So either way, I came out here to mess around with the Ford. So JJ caught this. My buddy JJ, who you guys may have remembered from Project Enron, he saw me putting the stock oil pump drive rod in there, and good catch for him, because actually after putting it in, I realized I actually had a hardened one, that's the nice ARP hardened one. It's make sure it clears your girdle. But yeah, and there's a little bit of thoughts on it. A lot of guys say that with a stock pump, the stock oil pump drive is fine. Some guys say that no, they'll break and blah, blah, blah. Either way, it's a cheap piece. Buy the hardened ARP one and save yourself the hassle. Now, the only thing is, I put it in from the top, so I lost the little piece that holds it in place when you tip the engine over. So a quick little easy way to avoid it from falling out when you turn the engine upside down is to grab a rag and grab a screwdriver and stuff it into the distributor hole so it holds it up. If it comes out with the distributor, the easy way to put it back in is to dab a little bit of grease on a 1/4-inch socket or 5/16, whatever the drive is, I forgot exactly, and the grease will hold it, and you slide it in and you're done. So doing that for now. A little late to go back and undo the oil pump because it's already set in place. So this morning I went by the shop and cleaned up. We lost probably one of the best body guys I ever worked with, and he's moving on, and I've been kind of cleaning up the shop and doing stuff. And when I got done, I decided to weld up the bracket, the new bracket for the oil pump pickup, which, if you guys remembered, when I measured it and checked it, it wasn't landing exactly where it should have been. So you could see I got a nice weld. We did one on the back, beveled them. So this material is slightly thicker than the base material. So I have to locate where I have to drill it, put it in place, put the pan on, and then I'm thinking this engine, once we get the intake on, it's going to sit for a little bit, and then we'll get on that Turbo 350 because I've been delaying that too long, and this is going to cost me a little bit in parts that I have to trickle out. So for now, I'm going to shut the camera off, and I'm going to get this set up, drilled up, mocked up. I'll show you guys halfway through any good little points, stuff like that, and we'll let you go for now. All right, guys, so I got the pickup all mounted up. We did have to do some final adjustments after it was bolted in, but we were very close. I did have to level out the pickup because it was on an angle. So you can see here, I actually used a pinch nut from a rocker arm, like a Chevy style pinch nut. Worked out perfect with a nice washer. And you can see our weld worked really nice. I did have to hammer it a little bit and twist it. Nothing broke. And man, I'll tell you what, that's a Milodon pickup. That thing is sturdy. It does not bend like the stock cheap steel replacement ones. So if you're going to do this with a deep, just better off buying a good Milodon pickup. Unless you're bound to using a stupid press-on or something where you have to modify it yourself, which at that point, you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, worked out good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is clean up all of my surfaces for the oil pan gasket, get all of my hardware together in place so that I know I have everything. And we'll get the oil pan all buttoned up, and we'll be able to move on to the next thing, which I will need the installer for the balancer. I can install that at least. And I am going to need a pointer for it. But from here, see how it goes and when we can get stuff. So follow it up once we get that oil pan on and up. So, all right, so the oil pan is on. It sat really good on there without a gasket, but this has that like 1/8 inch thick steel gasket impregnated with rubber. As you can see, it's blue. At that point, the oil pan was a little cattywampus, but it snuck down good. You just got to find out your uneven areas, and you take care of your highs first. You level them up, and then you work your way around to keep the pan as level as possible when you're sealing it up, and then you work your way around just like you would the cylinder heads. You want to keep that seal nice and square. So usually I'll start at the center. I'll do one, go to the opposite side, one forward, opposite side, one back, and then across, and then one forward, and then another one back, and then like I work my way in like an X pattern all the way until I get to the front ones. And usually the front ones on most oil pans are slightly bigger. So like that was like most of the oil pan bolts were 1/4-20s. These were 5/16. So I drove those in to get the pan a little snug and even. And then I went ahead and I did all my 1/4-20s, got thumb snug. And then once from there, I worked my way in my X pattern, back to back to back, front to back, or side to side, front to back. It's looking really good. Next will be installing the balancer. And I hope that this frickin' thing doesn't get in the way. I'm starting to look at that right now, and it's like, ooh, that's kind of, either way, I have to flip it, but might have to use a different, like a fitting or adapter or something to get this out of the way if the balancer's a little too big. It's an aftermarket balancer. But from here, it's going to be, I'm going to go ahead and try to get a set of intake gaskets ordered up, and then once that's done, I think we're going to wait to get our rocker arms, our push rods, and really that's all we need to finish up the most of the engine. Then we're going to need a couple of accessories like distributor and little minor odds and ends. But for the most part, the main things that we're going to need are rocker arms and push rods to really finish it up. And then we need, like I said, dress up items. We also need valve covers and stuff. So again, guys, Happy New Year. Hopefully 2021 starts to get a little bit better. You still got to recover from 2020. But I'm going to keep plugging away, and then hopefully once it warms up a little bit more, we'll get this thing fired up. So see you guys, and then hopefully we'll get you guys some news on that 350 project that I'm kind of still working on, planning out, and giving you guys some better details on that. But I don't want to say anything until I got stuff kind of cemented in place to get it done. So share, like, subscribe. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Coppercutlass, I'll let you guys go.